each process, the relationship with the designer shifts. Sometimes you come into a show and you're like, I have a very clear idea of what, some of the mood of this is and the feeling of it is, and I see a wall, or I see bookshelves, or I see...
Did that happen with you recently on a production? Or?
Well, like for example, in 33 Variations, we knew that so much of the play was about this woman delving into Beethoven's manuscripts. And it was inspired by my trip to Bonn, where I looked into Beethoven's manuscript. So I knew that it was really that the whole play was going to take place in that liminal space where the three storylines in the different time periods could coexist. And I really did what Bart just said, that it gave me the opportunity to have a lot of shells and really begin to play with them and see how they contributed to the telling of the story and to the thematic exploration that we were doing.
Variations on a dance should end with a dance. What an elegant idea, and so elegantly articulated by the master.
Other times, you read the play, and you go in and you say, I really don't, it's not coming, nothing is happening. And the designer will say, well, what about this? Or, and then it becomes the designer's job to really kind of help you flesh out what you don't know you understand. I never heard anybody say that you build a set to give yourself as many options as possible, but it's absolutely right. The more fluid it is, especially with new work. Yeah. With new work, it's a must, because the play is evolving. So it's about making a set and creating a design that is able to listen to the play as it evolves. One of the joys of working on 33 Variations was that I said, this is where the story is going. And then we would improvise, and I would go home and I would, write, and I would bring it back. And then the actor, if they've been working on the play for a while, they can say, oh, my characters at this moment, that doesn't feel right. And their wisdom, it's not just intellectual wisdom, it's something that as actors they have experienced in every cell of their bodies. And they become kind of the best dramaturgs that you can have. So, I don't know, I think that's how having a theater company really helped, in that I tried to make everybody become a part dramaturg. Yeah. My job at the beginning is to say, this is interesting, ask questions, and it's not cheerleading. Bringing something new into the world is such a difficult thing. So my job is not to cheerlead him on, but it's to create a space in which I can say, obviously I chose to do this play. There was something in it that I found moving or exciting or beautiful or worthy of myself coming in and working on it. And if I can feed that back to the writer, what was the thing that I loved about it? And what was the thing that kept me excited and inspired, and why I think it's a beautiful piece of work? And exactly what you say, I hardly ever give editing notes. It's like two separate processes almost. Like first, you have to encourage creation and encourage the author going deeper and deeper and deeper into what he or she wants to do. And that is a very important job. I would suggest that job is even more important than the editing that happens later. It's really saying, go on, go on. Oh, this is interesting, keep going. I don't know where this is leading you. And my job during that time is to take what he gives me, or she gives me, and stage it as beautifully as I can. And then I do my best putting it on, and then I look at him and I say, is that it? And then and really empowering them to get up on their feet and say, no, try it this way. And as soon as at the beginning, they're always like, you want me to talk to the actors? And like, yes, get up and tell them, what you want. And invariably, they feel empowered about, and they continue to explore. And then, yes, later on, you get to say, well, what about this? Or is this clear? Or is this, what about if you took this away? But by that point, the only way to get to that point is if you have really spent the time profoundly trying to understand what the original impulse of the writer is. Because otherwise then you're editing, especially for somebody like me who writes and directs, it's very dangerous. Because, I will have other dramaturgical ideas that are how I would write it, as opposed to how that person wants to write it. Right. A great friend who once said to me, for me fear is great because fear is fuel. Yeah. So this person had managed to find how fear was transformed into fuel, and all of a sudden that was such a great thing. It's funny, I said that and you can see everybody go,
yeah, exactly right.
Pull that out.
Yeah.